Okay guys, so cold in the garage for one. Sean's here.
Hello.
What's up, Sean? Look how pretty he is. Look at that. God damn, sexy man. Anyways, car's back. You guys saw it leave. I already started putting a bit of it together because I couldn't wait because I'm impatient. I know, Sean knows. But just look at it. It's beautiful. It looks great. I'm very, very happy. You can see where he put the subframe back in. I'm gonna get it back up in the air here too. Just want to go over some things. So decided to shave everything here. There's gonna be a panel that sits here, but I'm not gonna do like I did the wife's where I put that panel kind of encompass over. I'm just gonna keep the traditional metal panel that I'm sitting over there. So it's just gonna sit flat so you'll be able to see all this. He talked me into shaving that there, and of course this, because there'll be no fuse box in here anymore. And pretty much anything behind the towers or at the towers and back, I didn't want to shave anything because I don't know if I'm going to bolt this or that in the future. I just didn't need to. We also shaved all the little holes that are up here for the factory wiring harness stuff. Got rid of that because we're not going to have any of that anymore. Yeah, and I went ahead and started putting in. I had these powder coated using some dress-up bolts, of course, to put those in. Got the PHR block off for the drive-by wire, brake booster painted, and then a Tilton Master from Granis Racing. Got the subframe in, bolted right up, a little sketchy. I went ahead and bought brand new of these. Oh, that reminds me, I need to crank these down. These are kind of loose under there still. So I need to make sure they're tight. Yes, they could be painted, but I kind of like this factory look. You won't be able to really see the side. I want to get brand new just because, and then I'm going to get these centering bolts in here soon too. So yeah, I think this is nice setup. I think it's shifted over both of them. Yeah, it needs to, because this one's far this way, so I think I need to go over. Those bolts actually help line it up there. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. Coming from this side, you can see patched here. He went and sprayed it all black. It's not, again, this isn't going to be the next level show car, but I think this is very, very nice. Go ahead and bolt up these two. I had those powder coated, used new bolts. When I get it up in the air here, I'll show a little bit more. I want to go ahead and start putting on some of the other pieces here. So these are the sway bar mounts, AC system. Want to go ahead and get the windshield wiper motor in, even though I never use it. Want to go ahead and get it in just in case. When he painted all this up here. Now he's going to paint the underside of the hood and a couple other pieces, but I haven't gotten it back yet. So it doesn't matter anyways. That's a long ways out for me, so I don't really care. But yeah, I'm pretty pumped about this. So I'm going to start putting the rest of the parts on. So now that this is up in the air, Sean helped me here. We went ahead and put the sway bar on. This is a Titan Motorsports sway bar that was silver, powder coated, but it just been rough. So I wanted it black. Even had these powder coated black. Putting dress-up bolts, titanium bolts here in. Oops. Putting obviously titanium bolts up here also. Putting the AC bracket in, titanium there too. Trying to get everything, of course. These are obviously titanium bolts there. I had these done in black just because they were just looking a little rough. It doesn't really matter, they're gonna get messed up, but I just figured I was off, so they don't need to look perfect, but it's nice. Again, this is all powdered, even did titanium here too. Wanted to show you guys that. Just worked out literally perfect. If you guys have questions or concerns too about that, bring it up and I'll mention the bolt sizes and stuff for the next video so I can explain that stuff. This kind of doesn't look the greatest, but again, this isn't perfect under here. Like the rest of the car hasn't been painted. So yeah, that does look way better. Now I'm gonna start putting some of the AC system in, the brake stuff. Before you put the engine in, you wanna make sure that's all done. I've got that already pre-bent. This is fun because I make sure to do all this stuff ahead of time. So putting it back together, like this is all going pretty quick, don't you think?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, we're just kind of messing around here this morning. What time even is it? I don't even think it's noon yet.
It's like 11:40.
Yeah, like we're making great time just kind of dicking around. And yes, you guys probably saw that. I'll talk about that in another video. It's an upcoming project, so yeah. Okay, so a lot more has happened. I've just been going ham here, guys. So let's get in a little bit. So I just have this plate kind of sitting here. I had that repowder coated. It's the plate I had before. And again, you guys get the idea. I didn't want it wrapping up and over, kind of like I explained earlier. So just gloss black. Titanium bolts by dress-up bolts, of course. Haven't put the latches, as I said, or anything in yet. I've got to get this piece here painted. We're doing that all separate just because Travis, the painter, he's like, look, I just want to get this sprayed, get all the body work done, get it back to you. And he's like, I can do all the other stuff, the piecemeal stuff here on the side, just because he's got a bunch of work going on. So I appreciate it. Went ahead and put the hood stops on. And again, started going over some of the other stuff.
this isn't going to be in the car when I put the engine in. I'm just test fitting, making sure that the holes are clear for where the bolts need to go because they get paint in them. This is my setup I use. 120-degree fitting off of this. This is usually just like a slip-on fitting, but I convert it all to 100% AN. This fitting here you can buy from Powerhouse Racing. I think it's an M17 by like 1.5 or 1.25. It's like really random. M17, by the way, not M18, not anything. Yeah, M17, super weird. That goes into it and then converts it to an AN. But I do that so it can fit the intake manifold, comes around. It forces the hose this way to try and keep it. I don't like even this kink here, but if you run 90 down, I don't like that either. But this forces up and around because this goes up the power steering tank like that because this tank sits like here. So that keeps it out of the way. Again, brake booster and stuff is on there. I'm just, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I just want to paint this. I can obviously take this right back off right now. I don't know what to do. We'll see. Debating. AC lines, went ahead and got the covers on. Now these aren't fully on. Wanted to show you guys these also. These are the ISC coilovers. So there we go. These also have the longer shock tubes in it. So the one issue that we ran into is the shock tubes weren't quite long enough. ISC was like, hey, no problem. We'll send you extra length for the actual shock itself. And that gives me the extra height I need. Now, what they had sent me before probably would have worked. It just would have been maxed out. And when I mean probably worked, it'd have been cutting it close. And I don't want this car to be slammed. So this gives me like another 1.5 inches of threads. Allows me to get the car up. So where I have it right now is where my old setup was. This spring setup is a little bit stiffer too. So that allows me to get away with running less threads. So we'll see. Just want to go through that. Went ahead and put the brackets on for the ABS there. Get another titanium bolt there. Just have it sitting off the side so I get the rest of the stuff. Just trying to show everything. I already showed you guys that. Just little things here, guys. I love doing this. But we also have to put these covers on. These are obviously from PHR. They sit on there like so. There is a little O-ring that helps hold it in place. One thing. Please lubricate. So you're going to take this, use oil, grease, something, and put it inside. So see here. Put it around the lip of this. Okay, there's a little lip in there. Put it in there, and then you're going to put it on there and just put a bunch of force on your hands. It's going to take a lot of effort, but it will go on. But make sure you grease it up or oil it up, and it will pop on. They do have a little notch here too if you need to pop it off. I've never had to pop it off. I got to take them off. I take it off here from the nuts itself. Just don't see any need for it. But I leave them off till I get it fully on the car just to make sure it fits, and it fits over the coilovers, which it does. So it makes me happy. Trying to see anything else here. But yeah, making little baby steps. Trying to go over as much as I can. Got all the dress-up bolts, IC and instructions here too. Just a million things I gotta get done. Next thing I gotta do is put in all the engine bay plugs. So all the holes here. I'm also gonna run some grease. I'm gonna spray up inside of there. Cavity wax or whatever it's called to keep it from rusting inside of the rails itself, just to be safe. And then what else do I need to do here? There's a bunch of stuff I need to do. I just can't keep train of thought here. There's a bunch of other things I need to do, but just wanted to show you guys that. Let's move on to some more neat stuff. Making a little bit more slow progress. Went ahead and got the latches in here because you want to put that in ahead of time. Again, now these factory come with centering bolts here and here. I'm going to try it with titanium, see how it goes. Because believe it or not, I had to take the centering bolts off of that car because that latch wouldn't work. It needed to be bumped up some, and the centering bolts were causing it to sit down too low, and that furthest passenger latch wouldn't work. So this has a little bit of play in it. It should work. If it doesn't, I'll put the centering bolts in it. No matter what, this is a stud here that comes off of this, so it doesn't really matter for that. It's just these two top ones here and here. And unfortunately, the plastic that was here broke. This one's still good, but once it's up and in, I think it'll be okay. If not, I'll have to take it out. I hope that's not the case, but if it is, I'll just have to pop it out. Not a massive big deal or anything, but just a slight annoyance. This broke too years ago. This needs to sit in here like so, doesn't work or doesn't stay in. It's been like that, Jesus, for 12 or 10 years since I've owned the car, and hasn't been a problem. I just take it and use zip ties to hold it up here to the frame parts once it's all said and done. Then run this up and around and over and then back into the car. So that's next up on the list of things to do. I've got a bunch of stuff to go through here yet. Again, I took that back off. I've got to put the fuel lines on. I'm going to clean those up. But my PHR mounts here, put my radium fuel filter and setup back on. I've got my Raceworks lines I started making down here, so I'll start in the back and come forward, and then once I get the engine in, I'll finalize the lines. I have the lengths from that past video, but just want to double check everything, and it's just easier to do it that way for me. So yeah, should be good. So I'm excited for this, guys. Just getting pieces by piece. The cowls on here, again, this bothers me. Years ago, I used bolts on this and it caused it to kind of have this wave look. So I'm gonna try putting bolts back on it, see how it looks. If I don't like it, I'll take them back off. I need to get some other pieces painted here. Again, that's all secondary, so I'm not worried about it at this exact moment in time. I need to paint that there too before I put the engine in, put the rod back in for the steering rack, which I painted that ahead of time. It's here somewhere. I don't even know where it's at. Where did I put it at? Hello, where are you? There it is. Painted this ahead of time. Again, I left that unpainted because that's where it slides up in. I'll probably grease it up because that gets really seized that we found out. Got to put this is an old pedal, got to put my new Dual Designs pedal in here. Thank you again, buddy. Really, really appreciate that. Show you guys how to get that in. These standoffs are freaking sweet. So you can easily get it in and out now. It also comes with black hardware, which I really like too. Yeah, doing a bunch of stuff here. This is the first iteration, guys. Got a lot more to come. Get suspensions in there. Old ISC coilovers, just have them hanging for now. Got the PHR shock tops in, absolutely love these. I think that really ties in the engine bay. Now both cars have those. I don't know, just something about those just really helps tie everything in together again. Just everything is all blacked out, everything's all pretty. I posted up some stuff on Instagram there, and the extreme gloss black versus the very light silver really just pops to me. Really love that look. So making fast progress, guys. So again, I think that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys have questions, concerns, let me know in the comments below. Thank you all very much, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.